Yes, hello everybody and welcome to another edition of In Pit Lane, and as you can see we are not coming to you from the corporate headquarters of In Pit Lane beyond the suburban curtain. We are in fact back live in the RMIT studios in the heart of Grand Prix City, Melbourne. It is fabulous to be back. I'm back, the desk is back, Pete's back, everybody's back, and back next to me is Craig Doc Latigo as well. And Doc, it's fabulous to be back.
It's absolutely huge. Thank you, Brett. Hello, Brett. Hello, viewers. Hello, everyone. It's just magnificent. I'm beside myself, to be perfectly honest. So
well, actually, that's me, but I mean, I can see where you get confused.
We've got a huge show.
Coming up on the show, coming up this weekend down at Phillip Island, of course, one of the biggest events, not just in Australia or type in Australia, but around the world. That's the Phillip Island Historic Classic, and we're going to be joined by a special guest, Josh Lowing, a little bit later on. He's racing a Formula V down there, and he's one of the younger people, one of the new generation of historic racers who's taking part in the racing at Phillip Island this weekend. Also coming up, one of the great things about being back in the studio, live music once again, and joining us once again, we saw a couple of years ago, Bianca Schembri. Now, if you're into supercars, you might know of, you certainly know of Nick, her brother, but Bianca is a singer-songwriter in her own right. She's been on the program before, and she's come back into the studio again, and we're going to get a song from her a little bit later on in the program. But right now, it has been a really big weekend of motorsport. Let's check out what's been happening. Here is the In Pit Lane Motorsport News. A wet start to the 2022 Australian Supercar season as Shane Van Gisbergen and Chaz Mostert shared the honours at Sydney Motorsport Park last weekend. Van Gisbergen took the lead late in the race on Saturday night to get his championship defence off to a perfect start. The defending champion used a different pit stop strategy to Anton De Pasquale and Chaz Mostert to take the 55th win of his supercar's career. Erebus driver Will Brown was once again fast, but a gamble on the super soft tyres failed to pay off and he dropped back in the field. Sunday's race saw a great wet weather drive from Walkinshaw Andretti United driver Chaz Mostert. The 2021 Bathurst winner was able to hold off an impressive Brodie Kostecki, who had started from pole position, and Anton De Pasquale in third. Van Gisbergen finished sixth after spinning early and suffering a slow pit stop. Mostert now leads Sydney with a 12-point lead in the championship over De Pasquale as the team set off across Bass Strait for the next round at Symmons Plains in Tasmania. That's one hell of a wet street. Speaking of wet weather and dark skies couldn't dampen the enthusiasm of the people of Geelong last weekend. After a warm-up by the Foo Fighters on Friday night, the attention moved to the Eastern Beach area for the return of the Geelong Revival, featuring the famous Geelong Speed Trials. Over 350 cars and bikes from all eras took to the famous curved quarter mile, as well as a number of static events around the foreshore. After a break of a couple of years, organisers were thrilled to see the event back in the city.
It's just so great to be back with this event and putting it on for Geelong and putting it on for the community and the motorsport fans.
The event sort of disappeared for a little while and then was literally revived several years ago. How's it changed over the years, and what do you see as its long-term future?
Well, I think the big difference was once upon a time this was run with some hay bales and goodwill. Motorsport changed. We need to provide a very safe environment both for the competitors and the people there who are watching. So we've made sure this is a very safe event, and that makes it a sustainable event into the future. But as you can see today, we're running electric cars, we've got hydrogen vehicles. I think we're going to be a great mix of the classic and the modern, and we'll be out there for the motorsports community.
The event's had somewhat of a checkered history with the local council going back over the years, although now things are looking up. One councillor's support going as far as to be a competitor for the weekend.
I am a councillor, but I'm also been dubbed Councillor Revhead. I love this track, and I've been to watch it since I was a little kid, and be able to participate this year has been really good, really good. Amazing.
What does this event mean for Geelong? I mean, there was a period of time, I mean, it's a very old event, as you said, it goes back many, many years, but there was a time when there was a bit of a problem with the council, with some of the councillors. I mean, what's the status now?
We're fully supportive, absolutely. This is one of the marquee events for the City of Greater Geelong, one of the major events of the Town of the Year. The air show, really popular in bringing international and national guests, and we're back on the market. This is Geelong at its best.
With news of the proposed Cardinia Motorsport complex falling over and the future of Sandown still looking bleak, There's been much talk over many years about a new track in the Geelong area. Could the local council see this as a possibility in the future?
What we'll do is we'll try and bring the big ute back to Geelong with the Geelong Motoring Museum, and that'll just really provide the impetus to make another track. Out there at Avalon Airport, we've got so much room, and we've got Avalon Raceway here too. So let's bring it. Why not? I'll happily support it.
The event was so popular that organisers are already talking about a possible second one this year at the regular time of late November. A clear indication of the new look for the event was Sunday's fastest time of the day, which was set not by a race car, but by a stock road-going Porsche driven by Nick McBride, an all-electric vehicle. Just over a year on from the tragic passing of Faustino Grassini, Enya Bastianini has given the Grassini racing team an emotional victory at the Grand Prix of Qatar. Brad Binder on the Red Bull Factory KTM chased down the leader, finishing just 0.03 of a second away from the win. Repsol Honda rider, third-placed Pol Espargaro, led for much of the race, but with 4 laps to go, he was passed by both Bastianini and Binder. It was a pretty tough weekend for the Aussies. Jack Miller forced to retire early in the race with mechanical problems, while Remy Gardner in his MotoGP debut finished in 15th place to take the final championship point. Alex Bowman has won in a dramatic overtime ending last Sunday at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, gambling on a 2-tyre final pit stop and holding off the field in a 2-lap sprint to the flag. Bowman and Hendrick Motorsport's teammate Kyle Larson made up the front row on the restart after they took just 2 tyres on their final pit stop. Kyle Busch, who had led 40 of the previous 45 laps, opted to get 4 fresh tyres and start just behind on the second row. But despite the fresher rubber, Busch just couldn't find a way past as Bowman edged out Larson to take his first win of the season. Ross Chastain, who led a race-best 83 laps, finished third, just ahead of Busch. William Byron rounded out the top 5. And the FIA ban on Russian teams and drivers has had a major impact on the immediate plans of 2 young Australian drivers. James Allen and Alex Peroni were signed to drive alongside Russian Formula 1 and IndyCar veteran Daniel Kvyat for the Russian-backed G-Drive team in the World Endurance Championship and European Le Mans Series. With G-Drive and Kvyat forced to withdraw from the sport indefinitely, the 2 young Aussies no longer have a drive. What's worse is that the sponsorship money from both drivers paid to the team in advance will almost certainly now not ever be repaid. And that's the In-Pit Lane news for Tuesday, March the 8th, 2022. We'll have more news next week. And we'll have more news for you next week. We're going to take a break now here on Channel 31 and CTV Plus, and of course on the In-Pit Lane YouTube channel. And when we come back, we're going to preview this weekend's huge Phillip Island Historic Classic with one of the young faces of historic racing here in Victoria. His name is Josh Lowing. That's when In-Pit Lane returns right after this break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. So if we get Josh to wander in and set himself up and get comfortable while...
This is not... We don't have supermodels on this TV show, but we've made an exception tonight.
Yeah, this is these. He's very...
have a look. The hair's done.
All the girls crazy about a sharp-dressed man. That's for sure.
I felt upset because I had to actually put a microphone on because it just might mess up.
I don't know about you, but when I was 16, I didn't know what a suit looked like. I wouldn't have had any clue at all.
I knew what a creek and fishing and a motor car, plenty of lawnmowers at the back.
Well, up until tonight, I only knew what a race suit was. So
yeah, well, there you go.
I'm going to hold you to that because I got some inside info on you.
There you go. Now, we should just say for people watching on Facebook at the moment, the whole reason this program is back once again is thanks to the support of our sponsor, and that's Online Invent. Online Invent. I don't understand the whole, I'd like to think I'm up to date with all the new technology and all the social media and everything. But, Online Invent are specialists in this. Roy from Online Invent, as you can see, they do websites, SEO services, digital marketing. And Roy from Online Invent got in touch with us. He's a regular viewer of the program. And he said at one stage, he said, look, you should advertise on Facebook. And I said, yeah, we've done it before. It was absolutely useless, total waste of money. And he went, no. let me do it. I'll put in any. And he set up a little campaign, paid for it himself on it out. So thank you for that.
It's working.
Yeah, it worked.
It's working. Thanks for proving us wrong.
Yeah, so it
Roy.
so he knows, and if he can do that for us, he can certainly do that for your business, your race team. So if you want to get your message across, whether you're a car club looking for new members, whether you're a team looking to service your sponsor, or whether you're just one of your own businesses and you want to get out there to the community, talk to Roy and the team at Online Events, and we really do say thank you to them and for their support of In Pit Lane and RMITV Student Television. So thank you for that. So
he's an absolute tech guru. He just I've already started plagiarising some of his concepts.
He's also a regular contributor to Full Course Yellow, which will return this Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Pete's looking very shocked at the moment because he didn't know about that.
Nights,
but yes,
two nights, Pete. You're back.
Two nights we're back on.
You're
Pete,
leading the show this week, Pete. So yeah, that's all right. Don't get cold feet now.
Full course yellow will be back. It used to be our sort of our after show, but because Channel 31 has moved us to Tuesday night, it will now be on at the slightly earlier time of 9 o'clock on Thursday night, just so we can have a bit of a chat and we can catch up with all the latest news, anything that was a bit late to include on tonight's show or next Monday night show, which is when I'll be doing the news. It's all. Thankfully, we have found a way to mess with the time-space continuum. A very nice man knocked on my door in a very big jacket, and he said,
I just thought it was just.
I can do this. It's going to be safe. Don't worry about it.
I thought we were just freshening everything up. Yeah. But if it's something outside our realm, don't worry about it.
Okay, they're ready. Pete's saying they're ready. They've had enough of us talking, Doc. So let's shut up.
Given the hurry up.
We're getting the hurry up.
Yeah.
Okay, when they are ready, when you're ready, Pete, give us a countdown.
In this next segment.
How many?
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane from the studios of RMIT here in the heart of Grand Prix City, Melbourne. Well, a lead up to the Grand Prix every year is the Phillip Island Historic Classic. Now, obviously, the Grand Prix has moved, but the Phillip Island Historic Classic is staying the same. It is this weekend. There is a huge entry. It's one of the best entries we've seen for a long, long time. I mean, last year was a really good. If you didn't see last year, you can go onto the In Pit Lane YouTube channel, and we have highlights and stories from last year. It was a boutique affair. It was very quiet, but this year it's the full on of it. Crowds are back, interstate and even international drivers. We don't have any international cars, but we do have international drivers. We've also got a growing number of young drivers involved. Normally when we talk about historic racing, we have sort of more middle-aged and older drivers on. But tonight on the program, we've got a guy who's one of a growing new generation of young talent in the world of historic racing. He's racing a Formula V at Phillip Island this weekend, and we welcome to the program Josh Lowing. Josh, welcome to In Pit Lane.
Thanks, Doc and Brett, for having me on the show. Much appreciated for the opportunity.
Well, as I said, what are you actually driving this weekend down at Phillip Island?
So this weekend I'm driving a 1985 Daverick Formula V, which was built by the team at Moorbuck TAFE, believe it or not. So,
yes,
fantastic little car for me to be able to drive, and really looking forward to it. So obviously it's been a couple of years for me in that car, so got a lot of experience now. So the excuses have run out. But yeah, really looking forward to this weekend at the island, and it should be great. Formula V is such a fantastic category to get started in.
It's been a difficult couple of years. How much time have you had in the car lately to be able to prepare for this weekend?
So we've had a couple of hill climbs at Rob Roy recently, and then we had obviously Historic Sandown, which you guys covered on the In Pit Lane channel. But so really not much. It's been quite limited, especially through the early stages of 2021 and sort of through 2020. It was quite limited in terms of the racing that we got to get.
Did you race it much beforehand as well?
So I started when I was 14, so back in 2019. And since then I've been doing time trials.
Back when he was a kid.
Yeah.
So never heard of it.
Yeah, so so I did that since when I was 14, then built up the ranks, and now I'm in the official class. So it's been a fantastic learning curve for myself, and it's been great support from the VHRR too.
The interesting thing about Formula V, and we have covered this in the past at Historic Sandown as well, we mentioned it, is that historic Formula V, it's a very affordable way to go historic motor racing. It's also, do you also see it as a way for yourself to get involved and perhaps move on to other forms of the sport, or are you actually really focused on, and fascinated with historic racing as such?
I think, to be honest with you, my opinion is that you can't beat historics. It's such a fantastic way to represent what what the sport's become and where it came from. So for me, it's always been focused on historics. Obviously if the opportunity arose elsewhere, I'd be sure to have a look. But with what the VHR is doing in terms of making that step for people like myself with a casual job and still studying at school, making it more affordable is fantastic. Like, you've got free membership from ages 21 under. You've got free entry for the whole weekend, be it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. For this weekend's Phillip Island for people under 21. You've got, for people who are sort of more interested in just having a look and getting a feel for it, there's free admission to every race event for people under 16.
You should be a politician. You're great at selling it.
Yeah,
absolutely. For the young generation anyway, that's absolutely sensational.
If I was under 21, I'd be joining tomorrow.
Day over 19,
that
Brett.
time continuum you were talking about earlier, we should try and use it sometime to go back a little bit further. We had a joke off camera a little bit earlier, and you said it's the first time you've been in a race suit in the last couple of weeks. So, little birdie told me though that you were donated a whole full race kit, hands device, helmet, suit, etc. like that, completely out of the blue when you were down at P-Arc, down at Phillip Island there a couple of years ago, back in 2019.
Exactly.
You need to fess up about it. That was must have made your day, and made the year, I suppose.
It was absolutely fantastic. So through one of our sponsors at the VHR, Concept Race Gear, based down in Moorabbin, it's a fantastic organisation. They've been running for millions of years. And yeah, I went to the general meeting in, I think it was the October of the Sandown that I first ran at. And I got given this kit, this fantastic Sparko race kit. And it's
Don't hold out. You're given it, and you got kitted out, suited up, and measured up 2 days later. Within 2 days, you were up and running, weren't you?
It was fantastic.
You were over the moon.
Everyone speaks about kid in a candy store. I was the kid in a race shop. It was fantastic. So obviously with what the VHR is doing to support that oncoming generation is fantastic, and we've seen that, and I've experienced it through my experience with Concept and the generosity of the club.
The other good thing that you've got in terms of being able to run something like Formula V and a lot of historic cars is you can actually get really hands-on more than if you go into something like like TCR or S5000 and all that, they're very tightly controlled cars. They're very, very sophisticated cars. But for something like like in Formula V, you can get your hands on it. So do you? Do you get in there and sort of help? Do you help rebuild the car and help fix it and help maintain it?
Yeah. So if at the end of each race weekend, obviously in preparation for the next one, we head down to, so the guy owns the car, Connor Ryan, who's given me the opportunity to drive it. We go down to Tullamarine where the car's based, and we do all the work. We do valve clearances, we do points, and we reset the car for the next race weekend.
Points, I remember points.
I think they're building a new runway at Tullamarine soon. It must be for you. You're the one that's...
well, we started the petition.
Yeah, exactly. Wait till they hear the noise.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. It's your little Formula V.
Yeah, but it's fantastic. So, it's, as we know, Historics is a great social form of motorsport too. So everybody in Formula V is really close-knit, and we all enjoy racing each other. And yeah, exactly right. So
just quickly, we're going to take a break in a second, but in terms of Formula V, in your category or your part of the category, how many cars do you know are entered for this weekend?
So for this weekend, we've got about 15 cars at the moment. So we're in a double class with JK&L, and they'll get a 20-second head start and try to lap us, and we'll have our own little race.
But yes, Bianca was...
Prepare the sacrifice.
Prepare the sacrifice. Yeah, thanks, Jen. That's going to really
Someone turn the lights on the dungeon, please.
That's really going to give confidence. Bianca was actually, the story behind this is when we got the whole god-awful crisis began, Bianca was due to come in on that particular night, and of course, like all of us, we got cancelled. So we sort of made a promise that when if we eventually ever got back into the studio, Bianca was first cab off the rank. So she is here, and as I said, you would know of Bianca and the Schembri family through Nick Schembri as one of Australia's top supercar drivers. Also, her father Troy Schembri, of the man behind the Motorsport Fan Zone, which you've seen, and who were sponsors of this program for a couple of years, and we really appreciate their support over the years as well. And so what's happening with that, Troy? Are we going to see a Motorsport Fan Zone this year? Yes.
Oh, breaking news.
Breaking news.
This is actually really breaking news for a change.
1st to the 12th of April at Crown
1st to the 12th. Okay, 1st to the 12th of April at Crown Casino. We'll obviously give you more details when we get closer to the event. But if you went down to Crown Casino in the past, and also we did a live stream from both Crown Casino. That's when all this. You'll remember that when we actually were doing a live stream from Federation Square the year before. And it was in the middle of that particular.
That Friday is when Lewis, we were sitting there, and I was trying to signal to you. Lewis Hamilton has said, "I am not racing anymore."
Doc was handing me,
I'm trying to hold his notes up, and and said it was saying all over Red Rover, and these. There was three of them.
And Angela, Hugh Barter, who's now racing in both fronts. And hello, Hugh, if he's watching. Hugh is
good luck for the year, mate.
Yeah, Hugh is racing this year, and we'll catch up with Hugh hopefully fairly soon. He's racing in both the.
You did speak to him last year.
Yes, we spoke to him last year online, and we'll hopefully do it again. He's racing in both, once again, the French Formula 4 Championship, but also the Spanish Formula 4 Championship as well. So I'm really so good luck to Hugh. But Hugh was there, Angelo Mazuris, Super 2 driver and former car. He was with us as well, and we were happily sitting, and Doc keeps giving me a hand saying,
did I think
Ferrari are packing up? It's like,
Ferrari are packing up. Lewis has said, I'm already on a plane. Just try and find me. So it was really weird. And the year before we did, we were talking about Troy's fan zone down there. Did a wonderful live stream down on the promenade in front of the Yarra.
It was good fun.
Some nice
we'll see if we can do that again.
Some barrels again, some tents, all good.
We will see if we can do that again for this year as well. But anyway, right now,
speaking of the staff,
all warmed up. Speaking of talented young Schembris, we've got one in the face of Bianca Schembri, and she's going to give us. This is a bonus song for all of you watching live, and also for those on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel. So now, please welcome to the program Bianca Schembri and Nightmares. Bianca Schembri.
This world that we live in, things are crashing down. Hearing stories that are always coming back around. I don't know how, but it hurts. Hearing stories like I'm never even safe. Everywhere I go, it's like I'm being chased. To embrace the world and everything inside it. But I know I can, and it's hard to hide it. Can't we stop this war? During the night they will fight, I can't take it. When the storm is gone. In this world, we're all the same. I don't wanna fight this, no. But now I'm feeling like I can't escape. And now it's getting nightmares, no. Or anything that's getting in the way. Cause I just wanna live the life I want. How am I meant to carry on? Even when it's all been said and done. Tell me that I'm not the only one. In the darkest of nights, there's no light found. Does anyone know who holds the crown? The power lies behind us. Can we stop this war? During the night they will fight, I can't take it. When the storm is gone. In this world, we're all the same. I don't wanna fight this, no. But now I'm feeling like I can't escape. And now it's getting nightmares, no. Or anything that's getting in the way. Cause I just wanna live the life I want. How am I meant to carry on? Even when it's all been said and done. Tell me that I'm not the only one. Yes, I am standing now. Have a feeling that I've never felt before. Everything is working out. No more darkness through these empty holes, 'cause the fear of change through lonely nights is finally gone. I'm looking back and forth to know that nothing's wrong. I'm climbing out this hole that I have fallen from, 'cause I'm moving on, 'cause I don't wanna fight this, no. But now I'm feeling like I can't escape, and now it's getting nightmares, no. Or anything that's getting in the way, 'cause I just wanna live the life I want. How am I meant to carry on, even when it's all been said and done? Tell me that I'm not the only one.
Bianca Schembri and Nightmares. That one of yours, Bianca? That was lovely.
Original.
Thank you for that. And Bianca will be coming back to play us out a little bit later on in the program as we wrap up the program. So thank you, Bianca. So yes, we'll move and get into your position for the next one. You're not. You're putting the guitar aside for the next one, I believe.
Right. Big
so there
bonus
you go.
track
So,
that one was. Huge bonus.
So that's a bonus. Yes, a bonus for our viewers on In Pit Lane's YouTube channel and also on the Facebook page. But Pete, are we ready into the control room? And we'll come back for the third segment on Channel 31.
Are we ready? It's all right. I think she got the email. We're all in jackets tonight.
We are all in jackets.
And dark blue too, and black.
6, 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane on Channel 31 and the In Pit Lane YouTube channel, and of course CTV Plus, the new community television streaming platform here in Australia. And get in touch and find out all about that. There's applications for both iOS and Android as well. Our guest tonight is Josh Lowing, and he's going to compete this weekend down at Phillip Island and in the Phillip Island Historic Classic. And Josh, apart from yourself, what are some of the highlights that we're going to see this? Because it's going to be a big event, isn't it?
Absolutely, Brett. So the big thing about historics is variety, obviously. So you've got things like ex-Tasman cars, and you've got things that could almost double as daily drivers. So there's going to be a fantastic variety. We've got 435 entrants, which is absolutely fantastic considering the last couple of years we've had.
It's going to be literally a roar.
Oh, it'll be fantastic. So yeah, I reckon you'll be able to hear it from the studios, but it'll be fantastic. But yeah, looking forward to it. So I've also got Larry and Jack Perkins running in the exact same race. So Larry's in the VY Commodore and Jack's in the VZ.
He better not get me on the tools. He got me on the tools last time, didn't he?
He
Larry?
did, yes.
He put me on the.
Larry,
put me
yes,
on the breaker bar.
Doc was on the breaker bar getting because Larry with his.
No, I'd love to, Larry, anytime. It's a pleasure.
And also we've got coming up the one of the most famous cars, and an interesting sort of link with the VHRR is of course the Tirana GTR XU1, and there's going to be, I believe, a race just for XU1s there. And one of those XU1s, of course, is the famous, will be in attendance, will be a famous ex-Peter Brock car, which Ian Tate, who's the president of the Victorian Historic Racing Register, was sort of chief mechanic on.
Exactly right. So yeah, our club president recently awarded Order of Australia, Mr. Ian Tate.
Lord Tate of Box Hill.
But yeah.
Hello there.
That car will be down there running in all its glory. So it'll be fantastic to see that, obviously out of hibernation after quite a long break from being out on the track. But yeah, as I said,
they're brutal little rockets, aren't they?
Oh, they're fantastic.
Absolutely, and to have them all together in one place, roaring around Phillip Island, which is one, every international driver that comes across says it's one of their favourite tracks in the world if it wasn't already before they got there.
And we've got a big field of Formula Fords, including a number of international drivers. Not because of the situation, not many international cars, but certainly international drivers who have come. It's actually, as I said to Doc before, it's actually easier to get some of the people like Andy Newell and some of those people in from to race cars from England than it is to get them from Western Australia. So they're running some of those cars, but that's fantastic.
Quick pop quiz, buddy. What you haven't got your hands on yet, your most famous historic race, your dream one you want to grab with both hands right now if you had a chance the next few years?
Changes every day.
Oh.
I'd love to have a go in the Chevron Formula 5000 that Tom Tweedy usually runs. That thing's absolutely insane.
Don't we can help you with that one, but we do know Dean Cam's a good friend of the program. Dean.
There you go. We could make it like a bet like they do in Formula 1 with, Ricardo. If he does something, wins a race, you never know, you might get a driver one.
Might have to go and have a chat to Dino over the weekend.
Yeah, have a chance to do it over the
You
weekend.
race,
Yeah.
you get to drive it.
You get to drive.
Well, I'll take him off on that. But yeah, obviously one of those. Or a few years back we had ERAs down there, so the old historic ERAs. They're absolutely fantastic,
Lovely cars, and quite a challenge as well. Hey, listen, that's all the time we've got. Thank you for coming in. It's really great. I mean, normally, as I said, when we get people in to talk historic racing, they're all sort of my vintage or older. But it's great to see that there is a new generation like yourself coming in, and we can see you in action this weekend in the Formula V down at Phillip Island. But for now, Josh, thanks for coming in and joining us in Pit Lane.
Thanks for having me on. See you next weekend.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you. And now to take us out on the program tonight, our special guest, our musical guest, is Bianca Schembri. And Bianca is, you can check out her socials there, Facebook. You can catch up with her on Facebook and Instagram, and you'll be able to hear. She's a great singer-songwriter. She's been on the program before, and we're really pleased to have her back on the show once again. So once again, it's great to be back in the studio. Fabulous to be here on Channel 31 once again for a new series of In Pit Lane. But right now, to take us out from our first show back in the studio, this is Bianca Schembri and Memories Fade. Good night.
Walking in a room and the walls are heading my way. Don't know what to do. I am trapped and I can't escape. The feeling of moving on was coming back, and I couldn't wait. But now I have woken up, and it all was fate. I know I can't run from myself, even if I wanted to. Try to make all these memories fade, and I can't let these things get away. Time is going by, but I haven't moved a day. Everything's aside, but what matters is what's within. I know I can't run from myself, even if I wanted to. Try to make all these memories fade, and I can't let these things get away. Keep it inside until it starts hurting, closing my eyes to wait for this moment. I've got an answer. Do you want it? Do you want it? I can't let these things get away, but I can't let these memories fade. Now all I can do is just keep it inside until
race. Hopefully a lot closer than theirs.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You'll try and
race
catch them.
within a race.
No, they'll try and catch
It's going to
you.
be fun. Hey, listen, stay with us. We're going, as I said, we're going to take a break, but when we come back here on In Pit Lane, we'll have more about this weekend's Phillip Island Historic Classic with our special guest, Josh Lowing. Also, we're going to have some live music in the studio, back in the studio, Bianca Schembri. You're watching In Pit Lane on Channel 31 and CTV Plus, as well as the In Pit Lane YouTube channel. We'll be right back.